Ikelite really started with an idea back when my dad was driving home from a dive trip in Michigan. He had like 6 flooded flashlights in his trunk at a time when lights were imploding at depth regularly.
My dad, Ike, was sitting there thinking, how can I design a better flashlight, as he so often would do. Designing it and set on his way home, no doubt getting out a piece of paper when he got there and sketching something down, and ultimately creating the mold in his Westinghouse oven and pouring it up and making it from there.
He really saw so much in the market that wasn't out there yet.
In addition to having a functional dive light, so mission accomplished there was, how do we get, these photos, and how do we get more and more people, the general public, to take these cameras underwater?
This was just the infancy of scuba diving and recreational diving, and there were so many holes that needed to be filled. He got into housings by the mid-60s.
Anything that you would have had at that point would have been very custom, very, thrown together on a workbench kind of thing.
At the time, the only housings that existed were really these leaky, glued together boxes.
You got to keep in mind, this is pre, Jacques Cousteau. This is very early on in this evolution. So at that point, it was like, how do we make a relatively sophisticated solution to taking these cameras underwater? How do we make that affordable in a way that, people are going to be able to do it successfully and be able to afford to do it?
Had this idea for a seamless housing design that he injection molded and started putting all kinds of consumer cameras in it. He really wasn't picky. He didn't believe that it should be something that was specific or exclusive, that pretty much anyone should be able to put almost any camera in a box and take it underwater. Digital was huge to people to be able to instantly review and improve their photography underwater. We saw the quality level of people's photos just skyrocketing. Suddenly, in the 2000s, it's like tens of thousands of people across the world could take this quality of photo, and it's just been awesome to see. The digital revolution was huge, and it kept us super, super busy. It was 1998, and there were 2 camera models that we housed, and they both recorded on floppy disks, if you can imagine. Every year, there just kept being more and more, and within 10 years, we were introducing like 100 new housings every year.
So what that meant for us was, how do we create more housings? How do we create more molds that are what you classify as generic, but that can be specified to each camera model?
Technology is a huge part of what we do every day. We wouldn't be able to do the breadth of our product line or the breadth of our abilities in manufacturing without constantly keeping on the cutting edge of technology.
The cameras are getting more complex along with their sophistication. So it's, how do you access all of the different dials? How do you access all of the mechatronics of it? How do you communicate with this camera? And in order to do that today is really utilizing your technology, because you have to move very accurately and you have to do it very quickly. And the only way you're going to be able to pull that off is the adaptation of new software and new machining techniques and new molding and 3D printing, and really keeping your finger on the pulse of technology and the problems that is solving, not just in your world, but in all these other industries. And how can you adopt that to do what you're doing?
We use it to stay true to my dad's legacy, which was making underwater photography affordable, and we do that through better and better technology.